Okay, so today we're going deep on the Western chimpanzee, one of our closest living relatives. We've
Yeah.
got some great information on their behavior,
Yeah.
the threats they're up against, and of course the conservation efforts to try and protect them.
Absolutely.
I'm really excited to dig into this.
Yeah, me too.
So they're one of four chimpanzee subspecies,
Yeah.
and they're found in West Africa.
Right.
But what makes them so special?
Well, one of the most fascinating things is their adaptability.
Oh, okay.
They can live in all sorts of habitats,
No, wait.
from lush rainforests to the drier savannas.
Wow, that's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, it is. And it's essential, especially considering all the habitat loss they're facing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It really highlights how intelligent they are
Oh,
and their problem-solving abilities.
yeah.
And speaking of problem-solving, we got to talk about their tool use.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing.
From what I was reading, I mean, they use sticks to fish for termites.
Yeah.
They use stones to crack open nuts.
Right.
And even leaves to collect water.
Yeah, they're incredibly resourceful.
They have their own little toolkit. That's so cool.
It is. It is. And
Hey, then.
some populations even use spears to hunt.
Wait, spears,
Yeah.
like, actually making weapons?
Yeah. They actually craft them.
Wow, that's...
Next level. That's incredible.
It is. It really is. You don't see that in many other species.
No, especially not other chimps.
Exactly. And it really makes you think, you know, about their cognitive abilities
Yeah.
and what that means in terms of evolution.
Are they on like a whole different trajectory from other chimps?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question.
So we've talked about how smart they are, resourceful.
Absolutely.
But what about their social structures?
Right.
I know they live in these things called fission fusion societies,
Yeah.
which sounds a little bit like a 70s disco band, I gotta say.
It does, doesn't it?
But what does that actually mean? So basically, their groups are really dynamic.
Okay.
They can be large when there are a lot of resources around,
Right.
but then split into smaller groups to forage for food when they need to.
So it's very adaptable.
Exactly. It allows them to respond to changes in their environment very effectively.
That makes sense.
And then there's another interesting thing about their social structure, which is that the males stay in their birth communities their whole lives.
Their whole lives.
Yeah.
That's different from a lot of primate species.
Right. In a lot of other species, the females are the ones who leave.
So what's the advantage of that for the males?
Well, it means they form these incredibly strong bonds with each other.
Oh.
They work together to defend their territory. They hunt together,
Right.
even raise the young together.
Wow, it's very communal.
It is.
Like almost tribal,
It really is.
Like deep roots.
Yeah, exactly. And that level of social cohesion probably... Well, it's a mixture of things.
Vocalizations, gestures, facial expressions.
Oh, right.
Each grunt or hoot or gesture has a meaning.
Interesting.
And they even have different dialects.
Dialects, like regional accents.
Yeah, just like us.
Wow, so they have their own languages and cultures.
They really do.
It's amazing and really sad at the same time because these intelligent creatures are facing some pretty serious threats.
Right, they are.
I mean, they're critically endangered.
They are. They've seen a huge population decline. Over 80% in the last century.
Over 80%, that's devastating.
It is.
We touched on habitat loss, but what are the other major threats to their survival?
Well, poaching is a huge problem.
Okay.
The bushmeat trade.
Right.
You see, their meat is considered a delicacy in some places.
Oh, wow.
And that demand has had a massive impact on their numbers.
So there's the habitat loss
Yeah.
and the poaching,
Exactly.
disease outbreaks.
As their habitat shrinks, their populations become more fragmented, and that makes them much more vulnerable to disease. Okay, so they're really getting hit from all sides.
They are.
It sounds like even their amazing adaptability might not be enough in the face of all these challenges.
Yeah, it's a big concern.
So what's being done to help them?
Well, there are conservation efforts underway
Look.
aimed at protecting crucial habitats, like Tai National Park in Côte d'Ivoire.
Okay.
There are anti-poaching patrols working to reduce the illegal hunting.
Okay.
And community education programs are trying to raise awareness about the importance of chimpanzee conservation.
So it sounds like there's a lot of work going on multiple fronts,
There is.
both on the ground protection and in trying to change attitudes within the communities that live near these chimps.
Exactly. You have to tackle the problem from all angles.
Yeah, it's a big challenge.
It is. It's a long road, but there are a lot of dedicated people fighting for their survival.
Well, that's good to hear. I think it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the scale of these problems.
It is.
But it's important to remember that every little bit helps. Every effort contributes to the bigger picture.
Exactly. And it's not just about saving one species.
Right.
Protecting these chimps also protects whole ecosystems,
Mm-hmm.
preserves biodiversity,
Yeah.
and helps us understand our own place in the natural world.
That's a powerful way to put it.
Yeah, it is.
Their story is a reminder of how interconnected we all are
It is.
and the responsibility we have to protect the natural world.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for taking us on this deep dive.
Of course.
It's been incredibly insightful.
Good, I'm glad.
It's really made me want to learn more about these fascinating creatures
Great.
and see what I can do to help with their conservation.
Well, the more we learn and understand, the better we can protect them.
That's sure.
So that's fantastic.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been great talking with you.
Thanks again.
Of course.
And to all our listeners, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of the Western chimpanzee. We'll see you next time.